So I've got some card here. You can see I've drawn some stuff on it already. This is going to help me figure out how tall it's going to be, its general shape and things like that before I actually put it onto some crafting foam. So this is the length. I've already got the length. I'll just mark it again. On the side that I'm going to do, this was completely wrong, so I'm starting again. And I can see from my reference, it's got a little bit that sticks out like this. So this may or may not be the right size I want it to be. It's probably going to be way too tall because of my tiny wrists. Now I'm just going to cut it out. There you go. I'm going to cut it out. So let me just see what is going to happen to me if I do poke myself with it. I think I'm happy with that actually. I'm happy with that size. I want it to be kind of flashy. So I know that's the top. I'm not too bothered about it being slightly shorter because you'll see what I'm going to do. That'll make it look cool. So yeah, I think I've already done that. That was unexpected. Obviously if it's not right for you, you could just trial and error, but if you do it straight off like I did, that's fine. So yeah, now I'm going to put it on some craft foam. That's about right. I'm going to do it flush to the size that it needs to be this time, so no gaps needed finding my pen. Cool. And I'm going to keep this because I need two of them. I'm going to make two bits. Boom! Craft foam galore. Now I'm going to do it again with the other one. So now I've traced out my paper template onto my foam. I've got two bits, which is what I need. I need two pieces. I've also traced it on some Worbla. So because I've got two pieces, I'm going to do the whole sandwiching thing and put two pieces of Worbla on either side of a piece of craft foam. So remember when you're tracing it, just to mirror it on the other side, and then you'll get like the two pieces that you need. So I'm going to cut these out and then do my whole sandwiching thing. When you're cutting these out as well, as something to remember, make sure you cut out a little bit more than you need on the edges. This is quite important because you will need to stick these together and try and hide the seams, which I'll show you in a minute. Keep these bits that you don't need and put them in your bag full of... So I've got my pieces cut out. I've also got a pin, probably can't see it. And this is because when doing this, sometimes you occasionally get some air bubbles that you can't smooth out, and if you try and smooth them out, it will give you like a horrible bump and it's gross. So you'll need to like pop it. If that does happen, then I will show you. I only need one of those. So I'm going to heat this flat first, and then put the foam bit on top of it. I haven't heated it too much, so I'm just going to stick it all in place in sequence, so I'll try not to get any air trapped. The thing is, foam is like full of air, so it's a little bit more difficult. There you go. Smooth it all out. I'm going to get the other piece and heat that up. Yeah, I'm going to flatten this first, not make it too hot because it's got such a specific shape. I'm going to make sure I've got it all covered correctly before I actually start to stick it down. That's about right. There we go. Right. now I've lined it up, it's not too hot. I'm not sticking it down yet. I'm going to heat it on top of it. And now I'm going to pinch the edges together. There we go, peeled it off so you can see where I've pinched it on. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side so they're nice and pinched together. There we go, so now you can see where it's all been, but now I've got an air bubble. And this is where the punching comes in. Punch a hole through that so the air can escape. And once you put primer and paint on there, you won't ever see that hole. So now I've got this, and the edges are slightly warm. This makes cutting it so much easier. So if you're having trouble cutting Worbla, heat it up a bit and it will be just fine after that. This is really difficult actually, the shape is a nightmare to work with. Let's go this way. When you pinch it down as well, it gives you like a good visual guide of where the foam is, so when you're cutting it you can actually see what you're doing. I'm going to heat it up again just to soften the Worbla so it's easy to cut. So here is my, here's my piece all cut out. I'm going to heat the edges again and press them together. See, there's like a few imperfections around those edges, so you can't actually see the seam that was where you stuck them together, which is why you need to sort of pinch them together and stuff. So I'm going to heat up the edges, just correct all the imperfections just by pressing it down. Awesome! So I have my bit. And now I'm going to stick it onto this bit here. Alright, so I'm going to heat this bottom edge and this bit here. And the idea is that it's going to stick to this chunk here and the bottom bit. And then when I put the other bit in, I'm going to push these other squares that are going to go in the middle against this bit so it's nice and secure and it won't fall off. So that's nice and heated. Line it up and push it down. And really push it up against the big piece, and push it down at the same time. Might seem a little bit flappy and insecure right now, but that's just because it's still warm. So now what I need to do is lather, rinse and repeat again these bits, but all the way down here, which is nice and handy, and then again repeat the process that I did here and do it again, and so yeah, and then I'll have it complete. So I will get back to you when that happens. Right, so I just wanted to show you what I've got so far. So I've got the middle piece done, and then the second blade bit all in place. This is quite sturdy. This is the completely cooled down one. It's like pretty sturdy now, whereas this is still rather wobbly, which I was a tad worried about, but it's turned out pretty well. One thing I did do though was these were really sharp. Always think about con safety. I don't want to be stabbing anyone or stabbing myself, because this is quite a large piece that will be fitting on my arm. So I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with the size of it too. It's not too big and it's not too small. So yeah, I'm just going to finish this off and then we'll get to shaping it. You might have noticed it's obviously still flat. It's a lot more difficult to actually add detailed pieces onto a rounded piece of armour. So I always start with it flat and then we're going to curve it when I'm finished. Okay, so with repeating the steps that I did before, I've got my finished sort of flat detailed piece. Now I'm going to show you what we're going to do with the edges of these. So remember I said that we need to keep these sort of flat and unfolded. Now we're going to fold them in on themselves, basically. So I will show you that right now. The key to this is you need to heat up both sides of the Worbla. So I'm just going to be heating the sides. not bigger bits. Some bits are a bit thicker than others, so you might need to give them a better go over. That's better. So I'm literally just folding this inwards, you can see, folding it away and onto the bottom. That's going to give like a really neat edge. You can see sometimes it's sort of ripping. Try not to pull it over. I sort of pulled it there, but if it does rip a bit, squeeze it back together. That's what's so amazing about this stuff. You can just literally just pinch it back together, which is so cool. You literally need to do this all the way around. And now I have my nice neat edge. Obviously not as neat on the inside, but on the outside it's all nice and neat. And it looks very nice. So now just heat up all the outsides and repeat, and then I should be back in a minute. Okay, so now I've done all the edges. As you can see, it looks so much neater now, and I can size it up, and it's just the right size and everything. So yeah, so obviously you can see the inside is where all the folded stuff is. No one's ever going to see that, so it's totally fine. So yeah, I'm really chuffed with this. It's pretty cool. These are really pretty sturdy. They're not flapping about or anything. Again, the magic of Worbla, it's plastic, so it does that. So now the moment of truth. We've got to form this around your arm. Now you're going to do this on your bare arm, which is why you need to heat it up not too much, because otherwise you're going to burn your arm. So it's going to take a little bit of a long time, mainly because we're not heating it up completely. You need to heat the bottom side and the top side so it all sort of forms together. Let's do that now. I can feel it getting a bit wobbly now. So first I'm going to bend it by hand. That side's not bending enough. Oh, that feels like it's going to be bendy. It's bendy. So bending it by hand first is the way to go. And it's cool enough for me to touch it, so which means it's cool enough for me to do that. I'm trying to keep these not spreading apart too much. I'll do this. So, like I said, it's going to take a while because the Worbla's going to reform or like pull back to its original position, because that's what it does. And if I could just bend this and keep that straight, I'm going to do that by hand because I know roughly where things are meant to go. If you can just stay like that, that would make me ever so happy. Like I said, this is not too hot. It's just warm enough for it to bend, but it's not hot enough to actually burn me or hurt me in any way. If you're still unsure, just get a shirt or something long sleeved that you feel comfortable wearing. So now I've finished shaping it. It's cooled down and gone all hard. It fits pretty perfectly on my arm. It's the right shape. It looks really cool. I'm going to put my arm down. That's what it looks like. That's pretty cool. So if you want to follow the rest of my cosplay adventures, you can like my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/AuroraCosplays. You can follow me on Twitter @Aurora360, and you can subscribe for some more videos and updates on my armour. If you want to see any more tutorials, let me know in the comments below, or message me on my Facebook page. Thanks very much.